All right, it's Monday, August 17th, 2020, and I figured I'd give you guys another update on the Kobe garden. We're going to start over here. As you can see, the pile of rocks that we pulled out back in March is slowly getting smaller as I fill up plastic containers with rocks and bring them to the town dump. So that'll probably be another couple weeks until that pile is completely gone, and then I can start to extend some of these beds. But let's look over here to start with. We have the corn, which is growing surprisingly well considering a couple factors. Firstly, the soil was pretty poor. It was pretty shallow as well, and I know that corn likes to have deeper soil. So I was surprised that some of these stalks got up to be about my height, which is 5'10", 5'11", and then, but the problem was that some of them blew down during the windstorm that we had a couple weeks ago. So, and I also just didn't plant very many of them, but as you can see, they've completely created their seed pods or whatever, and then there's plenty of corn. And these are big ears of corn, so I'm really excited about that. Got some more down here. I planted like 6 different varieties, so, and there was only 2 or 3 plants for each variety, so there are definitely going to be some hybridizations going on. So it'll be interesting to see how they taste. The potatoes have been pulled out, the beets have been pulled out completely, so this area is empty right now, and I haven't replanted anything here. We had some pepper plants here, which kind of got a little bit grown over by squash, but as you can see, there's some peppers growing there. A couple more down here. These are supposed to be cherry peppers. So, and then we pulled out all the carrots, and we pulled out most of the kale. We just left this one kale plant here, which is just a beautiful plant. But I'm waiting for it to go to flower so I can collect the seeds, and it hasn't done that yet, so I just have to keep it there until I get some seeds from it. Same thing with the broccoli, although the broccoli is a little bit farther along. I got some broccoli florets this year, not too many, but I'm just letting the plants go to seed so that we can collect the seeds. These kind of like flower shoots have just gotten longer and longer, so I'm hoping that after a while I'll see the formation of long pods at the top that I can then collect seeds from. And they have these beautiful blue-green leaves. I think the broccoli is my favorite plant in the whole garden just because of how pretty it is. And then over here we have a tomato plant, which has gotten just bushier and bushier and is just now starting to flower. And I planted this tomato plant kind of late, so that's why it's taking so long, but I'm hoping to get some tomatoes from there. And then pretty much the rest of the garden, well, we have some beans over here, which haven't really started to produce beans yet. This is a vining plant, as you can clearly see, and I didn't build a trellis for it, so that's completely my fault. I gotta build a trellis next year, but hopefully I'll still get some beans from there. Besides that, pretty much the rest of the garden is all squash, and my plan for the future is to trellis the squash, because obviously I can't afford to give up this much real estate every year, but this is how it is right now, so we just got to deal with it. Over here we have some spaghetti squash, I believe. To be honest, I don't really remember what I planted, but I'm pretty sure this is spaghetti squash, and it looks like something's been scratching away at this. Some sort of, perhaps a wolverine or like some sort of chupacabra type creature. And then you can see there's a bunch of spaghetti squash, these kind of like yellow football shaped squash in there. We probably have 6 or 7 in total. And then over here we've got some sunflowers growing. These were planted by Jordan before she left for Portland, Oregon, and they're growing really well. I may have to thin them. I don't know. I'm just gonna see how they do. Definitely going to try to plant those earlier in the season next year. Weeding, as usual, in the garden is very easy with the no-till method. You just pull the weeds out. Over here we've got cucumber. There's one. Actually, wait a second. Is this cucumber? I think this is zucchini. So we've got some zucchini. And then cucumber might be over here. I know I have cucumber planted here somewhere because I ate a cucumber from my garden last week. So it's definitely in here somewhere. But I just can't remember which plant I pulled it from. Oh, there's something huge in there. Wow, look at that. You guys can see that or not. I gotta go through and I gotta pull out some of the stuff. I need to wait though because I don't have my car here today. I just walked. It's another kind of squash. Yeah, I don't really remember what squashes I planted. Jordan always makes fun of me because I don't write it down. And then over here, you know what, to be honest, that might be maybe watermelon. It just has like a weird shape to it. Guys, I don't know. I just don't know. Over here is another type of, oh, this is the cucumber. I think it's got little spikes on it. So yeah, so this is cucumber over here. And again, all of this next year is going to be up off the ground. I'm just going to trellis all of it and get it kind of more of a vertical orientation just to free up some more real estate. Because I want to do a lot more corn and a lot more potatoes next year. Because I'm trying to make this more of a subsistence garden. And you can't really live off of things like broccoli. Although squash, beans, and corn is good. And then if I add some potatoes and maybe I add some rye or some wheat of some type, that'd be pretty cool. You can see over here my efforts to begin to transform this area, which is just grass underneath this tarp. So I've got the tarp down to kill the grass, and then I'll bring in probably another 8 or 9 or maybe even 10 yards of compost and soil mixture, like a 50-50 blend this fall, and I'll fill in this area. And I put cardboard down first, and then I put the compost on top, and then I might have to do another spread in the spring. But I'm just trying to expand the garden a little bit. It doesn't need to be that much bigger, but it does need to be a little bit bigger than what it is right now. And currently my irrigation method is just watering with a hose when it gets really dry. And so far I've only had to do that a couple times. And underneath that tarp, surrounded by all those rocks, is my compost pile. So I haven't checked on that yet. I'm gonna check on it soon. There's lots of garbage everywhere, which I gotta clean up. Some of it's mine, most of it isn't. So I have to get a garbage can of some type so I can clean up all the garbage. And then last but not least, to beautify, I wanna make some signs that say like vegetable garden and have some inspirational quotes, just like I do in my classroom. And then finally, I'd like to get some wood chips so I can make some walking paths so people don't get dirty walking around the garden. And that's pretty much it. Hope you enjoyed this tour. All right.